morning. We're just saying that the record intake, of course, the number set looks really great, but it hasn't factored in increase in spending in Europe. So when do you think this will come?
First of all, Annette, thank you very much. A very smart introduction. I think indeed we have very good numbers shown for the first quarter, but of course there's an ongoing discussion about increasing defense spendings in Europe. I think a key date will be the NATO summit coming in June, I think on the 26th. And of course, in parallel, we need to observe how the German government is teaming up, forming up. So I think major decisions to be expected and a more clearer view on potential projects and upsides for Renk I do expect in the third quarter, fourth quarter of this
What are you expecting from that NATO summit, that we get a firm commitment for a higher defense target?
I think this is the first one, and I see Germany going in the next 3 to 4 years from today's almost 2% to 3 and 3.5%. But I think also what we will get from the NATO summit are clear key requirements to each of the European NATO users. So what I expect to get, or what we as Germany, is a clear number of how many brigades, how many tanks, etc., etc. So what kind of platforms need to be invested in the next 10 years?
You produce gearboxes for all sorts of tanks, and we have various types of tanks in Europe. How much is that a problem, you think, in that general wish to have a united defense force as well in Europe?
I think we need to differentiate between the platforms we are looking. If you just mentioned main battle tanks, if you see, for example, Europe, there's one big platform, it's the Leopard, and we are the key supplier and the one and only supplier. If you go down into the smaller segments like infantry fighting vehicles, it's more diverse, but I think it's absolutely needed that the European defense structure is doing a consolidation, which should be, in my opinion, not be driven by the governments, by the industry.
We are already seeing first signs of consolidation, and for example, KNDS is trying to up their stake in Renk. Of course, you can't do anything about it, the shares that retreat on, but would you be happy to have such a key shareholder such as KNDS, the Leopard 2 producer?
I think we would highly appreciate it, but what is also important, Renk, from the business model, we are serving all kinds of customers. So by having or potentially having a KNDS with 25% plus one share would stabilize and would be a step forward into this overall European consolidation. But what is very important, and I think this is the clear understanding what I got from KNDS, is Renk needs to maintain this business model of being independent and platform agnostic. This is really important.
Let's talk about your independence also in terms of geographic reach, because I've been pointing out early in the program that you're not just a European supplier of gearboxes, you also have a big footprint in the States. So how is business or doing business there currently under the Trump administration?
We are doing business. US is for us, if we look on the defense market, very important. We have a business share of 35%. We did over the last 4 or 5 years, we invested millions, high triple-digit value of millions. We are creating jobs. We are key customer, a key supplier to our US Army. We feel as being a US companies. We have 5 plants, 5 companies in US. So I think if you look on key criteria like job creation, like investing in US, like transferring technologies and building up and supporting the end user, the US Army, and in the future with the acquisition of Cincinnati Gearing Systems, the latest acquisition what we did just a couple of weeks ago, I think we do pretty much fulfill the requirements of the Trump administration, but also fulfill the requirements of our end users, US Army and Navy, which is important.
How important is the U.S. market for you? I mean, and probably you have competitors there on the ground as well. And a second question, in one question, so to say, what makes you or what differentiates you from them?
I think first of all, as I just said in the beginning, U.S. is really important for us. We do feel like a U.S. company. Second, competition is always good, but you must understand we have a market share of 75% globally. We are the absolutely technology leader in the market for transmissions, but also for mobility systems. And of course, there are other companies, but Renk is unique for having a business model dedicated to the army, to the military. Our products are battle-proven, known for the reliability and performance and super technology, so I'm pretty much looking forward.
You're ramping up as well your presence in Asia, namely you're building up a production plant in India. Is that the plan to serve the Asian market with that?
You are just on the spot. It's exactly the plan. We are doing the inauguration of our new facility in Bangalore in June this year, and it's clearly the Indian market for us is highly relevant. As you know, there are also future military platforms and projects. If you talk, for example, about the light Indian tank, but also to serve and to take India as a kind of hub for going further east, if you talk about Japan or Southeast Asia.
Yeah, demand is everywhere growing, I guess, for
Definitely.
the defense industry, happily, yeah. Let me bring you back to the market here and also the production facilities, because clearly one topic as well is scaling up, of course, and finding the right workforce. Are you attracting as well workers from the car industry, which is, of course, not in such good shape as the defense industry right now?
Absolutely, and as you might know from my CV, I'm coming many, many years ago from the automotive industry. We have many applicants coming through all kind of education and qualification levels coming from the automotive industry. So we are benefiting, especially when you talk about technologies like electrification and digitalization. There is, of course, a gain and a benefit for Renk to incorporate these experts. But it's not that we will take over automotive plants and convert them into new Renk military plants.
You're saying digitalization, electrification. If I'm looking around here, it's a very labor-intensive business you are having. Are you planning to change that and making it more into serious production?
I think what you have observed in the last 2 or 3 years, we are changing from a manufacturing of small parts into small series volume. So here in this plant, we will, of course, increase capacity, further ramping up. But when I talk about digitalization, this is more on the product-related performance features. And what we are saying is by digitalization, our transmissions, which you can see here, today purely mechanically, will in the future have digital layer and improved properties and performance for our customers.
Just a short last one. How long does it take to build such a gearbox?
Long. I cannot disclose more, but long.